The handmade paper made in ancient Korea starting in the 1st century BCE was known as Hanji. Because of its high quality and successful export due to the fact that it was created from mulberry trees, it was widely used for writing as well as for interior walls and commonplace goods like fans and umbrellas. Hanji is still produced today in specialized Korean factories and is renowned across Asia for its whiteness, smoothness, and strength. Today, we're going to discuss why Hanji costs so much. The inner bark of the mulberry tree, which is prized for its toughness and endurance, is first collected to start the process. Carefully chosen and treated, this inner bark. This stage requires labor, especially when the bark is hand-picked, which raises the entire cost. Mulberry bark is prepared in a number of steps after it's gathered. Its fibers are softened by cleaning, soaking, and boiling it. In order to form a pulp that may be used to make paper, the fibers are then pounded. These procedures frequently take longer and need laborers with specific skills. The individual Hanji sheets are then made from the pulp. Each sheet is manually created using conventional paper-making methods. To ensure an equal thickness and texture, the craftsperson must carefully spread the pulp onto a mesh screen. In order to achieve Hanji's distinctive qualities, this procedure is essential. Each sheet is formed, then it is pressed and dried, usually in the sun. The pressing guarantees the correct thickness and smoothness of the paper. Depending on the weather, the drying process could take several days. Although labor-intensive, this meticulous handling and focus on detail are important to preserve the caliber of Hanji. In the 1st century BCE, during the Chinese commandery at Lelang, paper was brought from China to Korea. Then it was produced during the following Three Kingdoms period. The Koreans had perfected the ability of producing exceedingly fine quality paper by the 7th century CE in the early unified Silla period. As Hanji's renown grew, it was also sold to China during the Korean Goryeo period, 917 to 1392 CE, just as Korean-made inks had been during the Tang dynasty of China, 618 to 906 CE. It was also very important to the Mongolian Yuan dynasty, 13th to 14th century CE, to print their Buddhist writings. The Koreans had surpassed their teachers just as they had done with Celadon ceramics. Initially, hemp fiber was used to make Korean paper, but for many centuries the highest quality Hanji was only produced from the pith of mulberry trees. Hanji's durability made it the perfect choice for printing presses that used blocks manufactured from magnolia wood that had been soaked, boiled, and dried for a long time before use. Each block included 23 lines of vertical text on each side and measured 24 by 4 by 64 centimeters. Ink was applied to these and paper was pressed up against them. From the 12th century CE onward, when printing was done with heavier movable metal types made of bronze, a Korean invention, the robustness of Hanji was very helpful. During the Joseon period, beginning in the 15th century CE, there was such a high demand for Hanji that Sejong the Great, reigned from 1418 to 1450 CE, allowed various plant materials, particularly bamboo, to be used in its production. The metropolis and the 5 provincial capitals each have specific workshops where the paper was manufactured. The Chonjo-chan, a government organization, oversaw the Hanji that was created for official use. Of course, writing was done on paper and calligraphy was one of the 6 skills that were required of all Korean scholars. To construct books, scrolls were either created or alternatively, folded pages were sewed together. Hanji paper colored a pale yellow or deep indigo with additional embellishment in gold and silver was used to create some of the greatest illuminated writings, usually of Buddhist sutras or sermons. In the inner walls, doors, and even windows of traditional Korean homes, hanok, paper was used extensively. The paper was translucent enough to let gentle light into the house, but it could also aid in keeping the interior cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Paper was used to cover the flooring stones in the traditional underfloor heating system known as ondol, a characteristic of Korean architecture. Both men and women in ancient Korea frequently used handheld paper fans. The names that are still in use today for some of the 70 or so types of known fans, such as banana leaf or lotus leaf, imply that the first fans were built from leaves. Spatulas with a single handle and folding spatulas spread out on a split bamboo frame are the two main categories. In the home, both sexes used both varieties, but only males were allowed to use the folded type, which was typically lacquered in black, in public. Fans' shape, color, and design may even be a sign of someone's social standing or specify how they should be used. For instance, at weddings, the bride wore a crimson fan and the groom a blue one, while mourners always carried white fans. Folded fans were typically worn by aristocratic men. Fans might be painted with scenes or embellished with calligraphy, with the latter being more prized if done after the paper had been folded and placed on its frame. The ancient production techniques used to make Hanji are closely related to its greater price. Hanji is made with an emphasis on retaining cultural authenticity and traditional methods, while modern paper manufacture places a higher priority on efficiency and mass production. Each page is made by an artist using skill, patience, and time. These processes, albeit time-consuming, make sure that Hanji keeps its distinctive texture, color, and strength, which distinguish it from other sheets. The handcrafted craftsmanship ingrained in Hanji's production is a significant factor influencing its price. Production of Hanji is an art form, not just a procedure. Each sheet is crafted by skilled artisans who have frequently spent years perfecting their technique. Every Hanji piece is made to the finest standards thanks to their attention to detail, making it appropriate for calligraphy, traditional art, and other cultural practices in addition to everyday use. The skill and commitment of these craftspeople are expensive, which eventually drives up the price of Hanji. The price of Hanji is more expensive for reasons related to the environment as well. Sustainability and environmental friendliness are frequently prioritized throughout traditional Hanji manufacture. The paper's cultural significance and historical roots are in harmony with the emphasis on using natural resources, staying away from dangerous chemicals, and adopting ecologically friendly practices. These techniques might require more time and resources, but they are compatible with Hanji's ethos and add to its distinctiveness. Hanji's price is increased by an unquantifiable but significant factor due to its cultural and historical significance. Hanji has a strong connection to Korean tradition and history. It has been utilized for millennia in a variety of contexts, including bookbinding and customary rituals. As a result of a number of characteristics, each of which contributes to the distinctiveness, worth, and significance of Korean Hanji paper, its price may appear to be exorbitant. The labor-intensive material production method, premium raw material choice, adherence to traditional procedures, artisanal workmanship, environmental considerations, cultural and historical significance, and export-related expenditures all work together to raise the price of Hanji. Although the price of Hanji may be more than that of mass-produced papers, its attributes and cultural significance place it in a position to serve as a symbol of Korea's rich artistic legacy, excellence, and long tradition. That's all about today's video. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the notification bell to get informed by our upcoming videos.